Hi and welcome back to my channel. I've had a lot of people ask about how I pack for my toddler and I when we go backpacking. So today I'm going to go over how I determine what to pack for my toddler and I and how I actually pack our bags. Before I even begin packing, there is a lot of research I do to make sure we are prepared for our trip. The first thing I'll look into is the location of our hike. In considering the location, it's important to know if you need a parking pass for the trailhead, if you need a camping permit if you plan to stay overnight, what the toilet situation is, if there are pit toilets where you're staying, if you have to carry your waste out or if cat holes are acceptable. And another thing to consider is if there's going to be a water source near your campsite to determine how much water you need to carry in. Another thing to consider is the length of the hike, which includes how many miles and about how long I'll be hiking. I also take into consideration how many days and nights we plan to be out. This helps me determine how much food to bring and what types of food to bring. The next thing I look into is the weather. The weather plays a really big role in what I choose for us to wear during the day during our hike, as well as what we're wearing at nighttime and around camp. The next thing I'll do is I'll actually write out an itinerary for what I think our day is going to look like. This includes travel time from our house to the trailhead, how long I think we'll be hiking, about when we're going to eat lunch and when we're going to eat dinner, and if we plan to do any hiking from our campsite. The last thing I do before packing is I'll look at our itinerary and I'll make a menu of what we plan to eat based on that. I found it very helpful to keep a notebook on hand that I write down all of this information so that I can refer back to it when I'm actually packing our stuff. Once I've done all my homework, it is time to start packing. I like to start by packing our food first. For our food, I like to lay everything out on the kitchen counter so I can see everything that we have planned, and I'll section it off by the meals we plan to eat. Once I'm sure that I have everything laid out, then I will take all of the snacks that I want to have on hand on the trail that are going to go in my hip pouches, and I'll put those to the side. And then I'll take the rest of our food that we don't plan on eating on trail and I'll put those in Ziploc bags. I'll usually put my daughter's snacks and food in one bag, and then I'll keep my snacks and food in another bag just to keep things somewhat organized. My daughter still drinks bottles, so I do bring formula on the trail, and I bring 2 of her bottles, and then I'll use my jet boil and boil water to clean them in between uses. I found using a reusable bag and a formula scoop works really well for us. I will determine about how many bottles I think she's going to need on our trip, plus a few extras, and I'll measure in how many scoops she needs so I'm only carrying what we need. When it comes down to actually packing our bag, what I'll do is I'll lay everything out in front of me, like you can see right now. That way I can see exactly what I'm packing and I can make a plan of attack on how it's going to fit in my backpack. Honestly, I don't think I've ever packed my backpack the same way. I always have to tweak how I pack it based on exactly what we're packing, and then when I pack up at camp, my packing may have changed based on what we've eaten, how many dirty diapers we have, and all that. I started hiking with my daughter when she was 6 weeks old. I used to use my normal backpack, and then I used my Tula on the front carrying her. And then when she was 11 months old, I switched to the Osprey Poco Plus, which is this backpack right here. And we've both found it super comfortable. She does walk very well right now, but she doesn't have the stamina to walk very far. She just turned 2. So she's mostly still in the backpack. The Poco Plus does have quite a bit of room. It works really well for day hikes, but for overnight hikes, it is kind of tricky. But I have learned some hacks to make it work for what we need. One of those hacks is using straps, and I also attach an extra fanny pack or even 2 if I need it. So once I have everything laid out in front of me and I am happy with what I have packed, and I think I have everything that I possibly may need, that is when I actually start packing. I don't like to start this until I'm absolutely sure that I have everything I'm going to need, because it's super hard to add things afterward. It's easier to do it all in one clump. Another thing to note is my twin sister and her daughter will be joining us on this trip, which means we get to share gear, which means that I don't have to carry everything, and it helps with the weight of my backpack. So in saying that, let's actually pack my backpack. All right, first things first, I always like to start with my water bladder. Next up, I'm going to fill up my hip pouches with the snacks we're going to be eating on the trail. For this hike, I'm going to pack 2 pouches of Element electrolyte mix, an almond bar, some energy chews, some fruit snacks, a protein bar, chomp stick, and some dried yogurt bites. Next up, I like to pack some of my heavier items that I most likely won't need on the trail at the bottom of my backpack, where is the biggest compartment for storage. In the bottom pouch, I'm going to pack my daughter's diapers and wipes. This is the majority of them, and then I also have a small pack with 1 diaper and a few wipes that I'll keep on the outside of my pack in case she does need a diaper while we're still hiking into camp. One thing I love about the Osprey Poco Plus is that it has a built-in sunshade. One thing I've noticed is that if it's completely stowed away, it takes away from the storage in the bottom compartment. So I'll usually pull it up a little bit just to maximize my storage in the bottom. I'm also going to put our hygiene in the bottom. For hygiene, I've really cut it back. I bring toothpaste for us to share. I have my toothbrush, my daughter's toothbrush. I bring 1 facial wipe to do a wipe down at night and a couple extra hair ties. We keep it super simple. I found when I bring extra stuff, I don't even touch it, and usually a toothbrush and toothpaste does the trick for us. I'm also going to put as much clothing as I can fit in this bottom compartment. I used to pack clothing inside separate bags so that we could keep our clothing organized, except I found I can fit a lot more clothing if I free-for-all shove it in there. It's a lot less organized, but it does maximize our space. Okay, so next up is I'm going to try and tackle our food. This pouch on the outside, which is pretty big, I'm going to use this to put most of our food in here. We'll see what I can fit. Okay, so now that I'm nearing the more accessible parts of my bag, I'm going to put the things I may need access to on the trail. One of those being my water filtration system. I use the Sawyer squeeze. And I'm also going to put my first aid and emergency kit right on top here so it's easy to grab if we need it. And then I also like to carry Benadryl and Motrin just in case my daughter needs it. Which we will keep that on top. And I'll also put her mini diaper bag on top in case we need a diaper while we're still hiking before we get to camp. I'm also going to put my poop kit in this part of my backpack. And here I have my trowel. I keep a couple baby wipes and some bags to carry out my waste. Pretty tight. Okay. I have this small compartment on the top of my bag, which I'm going to put my sunscreen and bug spray, and also my phone charger, which also charges my Apple Watch. Keep that up here. And I was going to put my flashlight up there, but it looks like it's pretty full. So I'm going to put my headlamp. Actually, I'm going to shove my headlamp down here so I won't need it till later. Now we've come to the side pockets. So this is where I'm going to keep bear spray, garbage in there. And my daughter's water bottle fits nicely next to the bear spray. I'll put that in there. On this side, we will put, so on this side, I'm going to put my Nalgene water bottle. My daughter is not a super big binky girl, but I have found it to be helpful to always keep one on my backpack. Sometimes when she's napping in the backpack, she likes it, and that's about the only time she still likes it. So I always bring one just in case. So I strap that right onto her strap, so she has it if she needs it. I think I'm going to put this smart water bottle, the stretchy pouch. All right, so now I'm going to pull out my straps to pretty much strap everything else on the exterior of my backpack. I found it easiest to strap our sleeping pads on first. So what I'm going to do is take 2 of these gear aid straps, and I'm going to wrap them around our sleeping pads. And then I'm also going to strap our camp shoes within these. Now I have this nice little bundle, and I'm going to take another strap and strap it all the way through the body of my backpack and then through these 2 straps. Okay, so now these puppies are plastered on there. They are not going anywhere. Next up, I need to strap on our sleeping bags. What I found works best is I shove everything into this compression sack, and then I strap this one bag on the side. So right now I just have my sleeping bag in it. My daughter uses the Morrison Outdoors sleeping bag. So I'm gonna shove it in here. And then lastly is my Sea to Summit pillow, which I also shove in here. Okay, so this is ready to go on my backpack. So I'm gonna take one of these smaller Velcro straps and loop it through the loop on the compression sack, and then wrap this strap around the side of the backpack. All right, next I'm going to take another strap and then wrap it around the body of the bag and then secure it tightly to my backpack so it's not flopping all around us. Okay, got that one on. Okay, and the last thing I hope that we have to strap on to this backpack is the tent. This is the REI Half Dome 3 Plus. My mom, sister, and I actually split the cost of this tent. We were looking for something that could fit all 3 of us adults plus babies. It is not the most lightweight backpacking tent, but it works for us. I think it weighs about 5.5 pounds. One day we might upgrade, but for now this is what works for us. For the tent, I like to take one of these long straps, and I actually go long ways on this guy, like this. Feed the strap through the sidebar of the backpack. Okay, so that is not going anywhere. What we're gonna do, I'm going to put one more strap on here so it doesn't flop this way. Okay, sweating. Okay, so now the backpack is secured to the back of the bag and it's not gonna be hitting Charlie. One more thing to attach to the back of my backpack, which is my Kula cloth for easy access. The last thing I always leave on my backpack unless it's charging is my Garmin InReach Mini, and I have this cell phone pouch that straps onto the front of my bag. And then I also have this camera mount where I mount my camera. This is essentially everything I'm going to be bringing on our backpacking trip. I most likely will bring this Cotopaxi fanny pack with me. I know there's always something I forget about last minute and I need a spot to shove it into. So what I'll do is I'll take this fanny pack and I just use the straps that are on it and loop them through so it attaches on the top of my bag like this. But for now, that is pretty much everything packed. Okay, so this is my backpack packed. The only thing I'm missing is my cute little passenger princess. It's not the smallest thing on the trail. It is definitely not the most lightweight, but it works for us, and this allows us to get out on the trails. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I will see you out on the trails.